your thing.
Good evening from the heart of flyover country. It's time to play Without Rule of Law. I'm your master of ceremonies, Bobby Spags, here to introduce you to our undisputed, world-renowned, top-secret panel. Riverside Will! And your host, Patrick Henry! And now it's time to play Without Rule of Law, the card game that gets you navigating the unthinkable and asks, can you brave a world beyond law? Take it away, Patrick Henry.
So we go to the left.
Well, there's the sewage drain right there.
Yeah, we got to cut that grate.
Oh, shit, we're live.
Oh, hey, everybody. We weren't doing anything.
That's the police dogs. We're trying to get out of the FEMA Center in Texas right now.
That's the sound of the police.
That's the sound of the police.
Whoa, what is going on? Why are we dressed like this?
I don't know.
What does that say?
It says, I am a crisis actor, number 03.
Hey, Lucy, are you a cop? You got to tell us if you're a cop.
You gotta tell us if you're a cop.
Knock it off. Okay,
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Looks like a few people are dragging in. Outstanding. Tonight we have a special show. We're obviously playing the role of crisis actors in America. Technically, we're not playing. We actually are crisis actors.
We're crisis actors.
The government is shut down, but that's okay. They're here to help. So everything's going to be fine. We have a fantastic show for you this evening. A wonderful Spitfire crew of people to bring in stage.
Miscreants.
Yes, the best miscreants, because that's all we hang out with. We only hang out with the best miscreants. So let's go ahead and add our illustrious panel, obviously starting with the one and only Riverside Will, Sam Russell.
The man who brings in the police dogs. What up, Pete Rafferty?
Yes. Let me stop by the studio tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Lucy. We get it.
Oh my goodness.
You're
Oh my
the police.
goodness.
I swear I'm not holding, dude.
Lucy,
Are you a
Lucy's
cop?
Scottish.
I'm not a cop. You got to tell me if you're a cop.
My dog only barks when there's cops.
To Sonny?
To Sonny.
To Sonny.
Okay. Sonny, Skull.
Skull. To everybody joining us at Without Rule of Law tonight.
Lucy,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
come here.
The police are out in force. They do not want you to see this, folks. Birds aren't real. The world is flat. You know how it works.
So, what an outstanding evening! Obviously, tonight we are looking at some interesting drawings from Texas, because FEMA camps are real; they do exist.
I have the plans here. If anybody ever wants to see them, don't ask me how I got them.
Don't cancel us just yet. Wait till it's over with, and then you can cancel us, big brother. So, again, welcome this evening to Without Rule of Law, the Without Rule of Law inspired game that we play here in the Midwest Preparedness Project studio is brought to you by our friends at Without Rule of Law, obviously in Practical Survival, JD Dutra and Southern Prepper 1.
Yep.
We have some very, very cool people in the studio this evening. And if you don't know, this game, let me show you here. I'll put a link up there for you to play with. We got the Outdoor Guy, Autism's Revenge, Jim Munson, Prepper 79. How's it going? Glad to see you guys in the studio this evening. Got a cool banner for you. Bam! Buy yourself a set right there without ruleoflawcards.com. This is the one and only card game that allows you to navigate the question of who could you trust in the world without rule of law with your life, your wife, your kids, your treasure, or your last can of cream corn.
Cream corn.
No.
Cream corn.
No. Cream corn is of the devil, Bobby Boucher.
That's what I keep getting told. I keep getting told it is of the devil. So, obviously, to my right, I have the one and only, the VP, longtime MWPP MC, Mr. One and Only Bobby Spags in the house. Thank you, Bobby Spags.
What's up? What's up?
We have the obvious husband, father, technical wizard, and boots on the ground realist, Peter Parker of Kansas City, Riverside. Will. We have a badass Marine veteran, systems engineer with a warrior spirit. He's a badass in hand-to-hand CQB contact, all the fine things that have to do with a country boy can survive. Sam Russell in the house. Thank you, Sam. He's an alum. Sam's been here before. He knows how to do this. And then obviously, he's a local gunsmith. He is the former president of FSP Topeka, the Prepper Expo, and a homesteader who walks the talk, Mr. Pete Rafferty.
What's up?
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
So,
All right.
So much facial hair. Patrick, you even got some stubble.
Wow, he does.
Facial hair, guys.
You know what?
Beards roll.
It's one of those things that my wife says she's not attracted to, but at the same time she likes to scratch her feet on it, so it's all good.
We listen and we don't judge.
Right, we don't James.
Easy there, Tarantino.
I got the toe jam. Who's got the peanut butter?
I don't understand what's so funny, guys.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We listen.
all right, outstanding. So we have some wonderful questions for the panel this evening in our Without Rule of Law card game. And I'm just going to start with Bobby, and I'm going to work my way down the line. So, Bobby,
Yes.
you have helped connect groups through FSP in the past, and then now you're helping build a MAG and other things with the Midwest Preparedness Project. As our VP, your questions tonight will deal with the following. How would you handle groups that were once allies but now are acting against the tribe's broader mission, especially in a without rule of law scenario? So, first question. If a nearby MAG or community your group once coordinated with becomes hostile or goes rogue, what immediate nonviolent steps should you or your leaders take to protect the community and de-escalate tensions?
The art of negotiation obviously has to come first. Just because it's a world without the rule of law does not mean you want to go barbaric immediately. But in a world where, where diplomacy can fail, this is why we own high capacity magazines.
My man, squad automatics. Sam knows a little bit about that.
Just a little.
You shouldn't have gone against us in the first place.
I feel sorry for your children. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
But at the same time, let's make a tactical discussion happen first and then have a plan to...
He should always be the first order of business because nobody likes pain. No matter who you are, no matter how tough you think you are, at the end of the day, we're all people who shy away from pain. So always look for the painless option first. But the minute diplomacy fails, there's a reason we did not let the government take our high-capacity magazines.
But the government's shut down, bro.
Well, yeah, for the next 5 minutes, that'll change.
Yeah, that's true.
They're still making peace in the Middle East, whether they're off or not.
But it blows my mind. They're shut down, but technically Congress is still getting paid. How does that mean they're shut down? Because taxes are still coming out of my check.
I was going to say, is your property taxes not getting taken out right now?
No, they are. So they're not shut down. Just certain parts that, anyways.
Not
As
enough.
we digress. What was that?
Not enough of it shut down.
Thank you, Sam.
That's right.
Thanks. So, Sam, just so you in the crowd, the handful of you that don't know who Sam is, his great-great-grandparents, and once upon a time I had a video clip of like the dude from Forrest Gump, like dying over and over of his family through history. So Sam's family can trace the roots all the way back to the Quantrell Raiders, who used to come across the border and kick the shit out of the liberals in Lawrence, Kansas. Is that right, Sam?
Right.
That's not exactly right, but we'll go with that. That's a much.
Yeah, sounds good.
Lean into it.
So just that does answer my question. Is you're going to Civil War General Beard?
He does have that.
Is it just a little bit past wizard, or
I always think of Sam.
It's whatever it goes into.
I always think of Sam as the Mandarin from Iron Man.
Only
yeah.
for real, but for real.
We just need you some flowing robes,
Yeah.
whiskey, and some hose. You'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to teach you a lesson, America. All right, Pete, moving on.
Wow, what do you got?
What
What do you got for me?
Pete, so as a gunsmith, a homesteader, and a safe haven community builder that's long time standing in the community, you've built a life. I'm just going to roll with it. You built a life around sustainability and craftsmanship, right? So things that make a safe haven possible and sustainable. Tonight, we're going to dig into how these skills help hold communities together, okay? Your first question is going to be an easy one. We're going to start off with, for a safe haven community like the Midwest Preparedness Project is building, what maintenance routines, skills, such as metalwork, sewing, basic machining, etc., deliver the highest long-term utility for self-sufficiency in a community? What would you recommend communities start out with?
Craftsman and the ability to learn. Because even though you have a builder, you have a welder, you have a blacksmith, and all that, like it's only as good as the person that knows it.
Yep.
So if you have people with you that were once accountants or bankers or people that didn't do work with their hands, have the ability to learn those trades, or the ability to learn, how to build a house, how to build a shelter, how to hunt, how to garden. That's what I want. I'd rather take 1,000 of those guys than one podiatrist that says I'm a doctor, so therefore I'm important.
Right.
Outstanding.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah. So skills. You're saying craftsmanship skills.
Craftsmanship skills and the ability to learn. I mean, no matter what everybody is kind of like jack of all trades, master of none. So if you want me to nail it to one specific skill, builders, construction, people who have worked the construction trade, anything from doing roofing or framing or how to lay out a house, because those guys can sit there and not just read plans and build, but they can also create.
Yeah, amen.
They can go saying, oh, hey, over here, all right, we can build this, and then, we could probably throw in a little bit of water collection to it, or this will keep the north winds out. This will keep the
practical skills.
Practical skills is really the number one thing. And I tell this to everybody, so I don't care what your master's degree in. If you can't, work on your own damn lawnmower,
right?
You don't have you quit learning.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to be self-reliant if you're relying on others.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean, I got a friend that lives in the country that doesn't mow his own lawn, and I'm not understanding that one at all.
That's a tough one, but you know what? It's one of those things where some people they prefer to sit inside, read books, and watch the grass grow, and walk barefoot, and all those fun things. I don't judge.
I like walking barefoot.
Everybody's a better prepper online.
It's true story. It's true story.
I'm way cooler online.
Yes, we all are, except for you know what? We're not even going to go there. I was going to say those that eat cream corn, but I said it. I said it. So moving on to the technical wizard, Riverside Will. Hey, is that the one and only?
Chuck.
Look at that. Chuck Peoples is in the house.
Hey!
What's up, Chuck?
Now it's party. Hey, Chuck. Good to see you, man. Been a long time. Hope you're doing well, brother. Riverside Will. So your question tonight, you're safeguarding a new family leaving the inner Casey area, okay? So your questions are going to revolve around that. Well, you're obviously balancing new fatherhood with real-world preparedness, living in the lion's den. You've been vocal about staying safe while living in the Casey area in the past in our previous show. So we'll start off with an easy one for you as well. When you're preparing a newly formed family to move out of the inner city under high stress, what priority checklist do you use for your safety, your health, and your basic logistics? Like, what's your first 5 things that you're worried about? Getting your crap and getting your family and getting out of Dodge.
And this is like after an event has occurred?
Yep, without rule of law is now in effect, and we're obviously running because the lizard people.
Top priority is, and there's a 2 sides to this. Expediency, but specifically in the decision, like you need to have a decision on timeline and execute. If your goal is to get out quick, then like expediency is the only game, because you need to be faster than others. If your goal is to camp out at that exact location for X amount of time, as soon as that X amount of time is hit, you need, again, expediency en route. So regardless of whether you are going to be, like, if your goal is to get out, if you're saying I'm going to have a delayed timeline or I'm going to have an immediate schedule, in either case, expediency on path is going to be significant, and expediency to that goal as soon as it's time to execute is significant. So expediency. Number 2 would be multiple routes, I would say. If you're trying to get from point A to point B and you're trying to get out of a city, the biggest thing that's going to slow you down, no matter what the instance is going to be the fact that there's going to be major choke points. So like when you think of a city, you can kind of think of it like a body. There's arteries, there's capillaries, there's different components of getting out that are like more significant routes and less significant routes. You need to know how to navigate. Like, if this artery is blocked, how do I get to a side road? How do I get to a side path? How do I navigate from point A to point B, regardless of how much is getting blocked up? Because we've defined our objective of getting out, expediency, multiple routes are going to be the top 2 priorities. Having everything ready to go is going to kind of go into those 2 of expediency and navigation, because if I already have everything ready to go, in theory, I'm not going to have to be scrambling at the last second to get out. And what that means is not necessarily in having like, let's have everything in the car all the time, constantly. Let's have everything staged and have a methodology to get that staged item from where it's at to in the vehicle already defined. If I am going to be coordinating with other families or other individuals on my way out, I need to have all of those. Let's use an easy word. Methodologies of we're working with them prearranged. So I need to have prior check, like this is where I'm meeting up with them. We have rally points. We have predefined a plan of getting from point A to point B. Because again, we've defined that as our objective, point A to point B. All of the people coming along with me are important, but those are also like, that's so related to the goals. I'd say like, where am I at 4? Am I on 4 now?
4, yeah.
4. So making sure that everybody's coordinated within this plan. So now that I've defined like, all right, these are my plans, these are my objectives. Now I need to get everyone looped in on it. So I need to have them bought in and ready to go. And in that part of getting the people bought in, ready to go, and having them in my plan, like in it, like what's the word, integrated into the plan, I need to have them prepared individually, like with the group and their component of the larger mechanism. So like, child, your objective is to make sure other children's get in vehicle, right? And then before we go, we do an extra check, all children's in vehicle, check, right? Wife, your goal is to get X item, put it in vehicle, right? You know, final goal on our path point, I think that's covered most of my stuff. Honestly, stuff's the last thing, I guess. I don't think there's much left to cover. You gave me 5. I'm like, wow, I got a lot to go on with 5. I've got my stuff, so I'd say like, yeah, maybe the biggest thing on that last one would be making sure that vehicles are in a good state of condition to go, and or having the stuff like ready to go. I mean, I already kind of covered that with 2, so I'd say vehicles in a good state / condition. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of like auxiliary that could be outside of those 5, like, hey, be able to change your tire. But that's normal, not get out of city, get to point B sort of considerations. So
yeah, totally fair. That is a plethora of items there, my friend. And yes,
you said 5. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we want to know. The people want to know. Like, excuse me, the last few episodes. Like, people keep asking, who's this Riverside Will guy? I got a lot of questions. Like Will is like, he's like enigmatic. Like, his answers are just like I don't know. It's like he's speaking to my soul. So somewhere out there in our YouTube
I don't know who you're
land,
talking to, man. I don't know.
You just talk directly to someone, and they're vibing with you right now, Will.
His wife has 12 different accounts. It's all
exactly.
Yeah, it's all her.
Yeah.
Sam, she's buying for me.
That's a love of a good woman right there.
Sam, you should only be so lucky.
It's warm on a November night.
All right. So, Sam, speaking of the man. All right, Sam. So, obviously, you have some system engineering and some combat veteran like questions that have to do with fictional zombies. Go figure. Why am I going to throw zombie questions at Sam? Because they're fun. That's why. Because I can. So, Sam.
Why gotta be fictional?
Well, just wait till you hear the question. Sam, from a systems engineering perspective, not a combat marine perspective, when you're imagining a fictional zombie surge out of a place like, oh, I don't know, Lawrence, Kansas, what are the top 3 design principles you'd emphasize for any community's defense initiative or protection setup? How are you setting up the Midwest Preparedness Project's defenses from the Lawrence zombies?
I mean, the first thing is you know where they're coming from, you know where you're at, so you pick out the most likely routes where they're going to come from, and then either block those or make them even narrower, maybe limit the number of options they have to get to you, and then find ways that once they're there, you make them not be there anymore.
So you're talking like putting up the screen netting along the side of the road so the drones can't come. I mean, wait, that's a different place.
The barbed wire, the downed trees. Do you want them to use that bridge? Do you want to use that bridge? Do you want no one to ever use that bridge again?
Yeah. So defy, defend, and or detect and defend.
Yeah. So once you can channelize, get them to a particular spot, find ways to slow them down. So barbed wire, trees across, cars across.
Hey, we have trees here.
William,
Hold on. This is Northeast Kansas. We have Burness Mountain and Echo Cliff. I know where I live.
I feel personally attacked right now, William. I'm just saying. I'm at least 800 feet above sea level here, bro.
I know what he's talking about. We're one of the last 4 states to legalize cannabis. That's what
Yeah, you're right.
You got to go to Missouri to find the high ground. Now I get it. Yes, Missouri has high ground. Kansas has, what is it? What is it?
We have boomer ignorance.
Now, what is it called? The stuff they sell, whatever the
CBD or whatever.
Yeah, we have CBD
Well,
ground.
not anymore. They
raided all
that stuff this last weekend.
That is a fantastic answer, Sam. You're correct. All the answers tonight are correct. But that one is doubly correct because it's just because we're making things up as we go.
Yep.
And if I were to build on that, if they're coming from a spot, maybe the spot that you're at's no good anymore, you would still do the same stuff, limit their places to move towards you at, and then if you're going to leave, where can you go that will keep them funneled or give them a bunch of options to choose from, and you only picked one, and they got to pick through, did they go through that bridge, and you can park guys off that way, and then finally pick a couple of locations where you can cut off the line of advance no further right here, and then you're off to a proper state like Missouri.
A proper state like Missouri.
Wow, look at that.
A proper state like Missouri where you can't get 10 feet down the road without 3 flat tires on account of the potholes.
It's a true story.
Okay.
It's a painfully true story. All right, Bobby, rotating back to you, my friend.
Oh, boy.
So, I promise I don't have a single question about cream corn tonight.
Thank God.
Yes, you're welcome. How do you ethically assess whether or not to attempt reconciliation to a formerly aligned group versus isolating for safety? So going back to the first question, building upon that, what indicators guide your choice for either choosing to isolate or other options?
Reconciliation should always be on the table, especially in a world where your resources and potential allies are dwindling by the day due to things like, I don't know, diphtheria,
zombies,
the flu, zombies, drones, the Russians, whatever. There should always be a path to reconciliation, provided reconciliation is a two-way street and that those who need to reconcile are willing to admit to what they did. You do not have any obligation to reconcile with people simply because you need extra hands. So if someone wrongs you and they wrong you horribly, it's really a bad place to be, to where you have to bring them back without them ever admitting to the fact that they wronged you. So forgiven, sure. Forgotten, never. Turn the other cheek, fine. I've only turned it once. Now both have been struck. Now what am I left with? So reconciliation is a tough one, and I think it's going to be situationally driven based on the life you're living, the resources you have available to you. I know we all want to pretend like we have this weird moral foundation we all live on, all of us being of various faiths and perspectives, but the fact is that starvation, pain, and death are going to be very real motivating factors to what you do, and we can bloviate about it all day right now, and the fact is at some point you're probably going to eat your own words. That's just the way it works.
So start with reconciliation. Obviously you want to try to find some sense of meaningful discord between the two of you.
Sure.
And then if you have to, escalate.
Yes, because if there was a reason that we had discord to begin with, it meant we were together at some point before that, meaning there was common ground. If you can find a way to take that common ground and exploit it for current safety gain, whatever you want to put your motivator as, that certainly is more preferable than this pain of fighting and anger and, I'm going to do this and that because you did this and that. I really do think that when you get hungry, a lot of that shit falls to the wayside very quickly because you're going to realize how stupid the things you argued about were to begin with.
Yep. Not everybody is as cool as they think they are, and when people are suffering, and
it's easy to slide into the comments and be a dick. it's easy to slide into the comments and get yours because we live in 2025.
Mhm.
But when all of that ability is taken away from you and it's no longer about how easy can I slide into someone's comments and be a jerk, all of a sudden the realism of, oh my God, I'm out of green beans. And well, he's got canned carrots. What are we going to do?
So what is the ratio of trade between creamed corn and green beans?
Why do you even have to go there, Pete? Golly, like we could have stuck with carrots. Pete, that's a -1. I'm writing this down. -1 for Pete.
He has gone down to a B+.
Pete, you're losing the game. You're losing the game.
That's right. Points don't matter.
The points don't matter. We're totally making it all up as we go. Okay, moving on. Speaking of Pete, we're going to give you a hard one.
All right, go for
It's
it.
going to be harder. It's not, none of these are hard. Pete, how do you balance making a safe haven self-sufficient while maintaining openness to your neighbors, especially in a long-term community survival project?
Balls. Good fences build good neighbors.
Okay.
Honestly, and I really do believe in that. I just had a conversation with one of my neighbors in regards to their fence, and it's a boundary. It's a little. It's the meeting place where you can meet, you can discuss stuff. You're on your property, they're on theirs.
Good to see you, Brian.
But yeah, fences, physical, man-made, physical. You're on this side of the creek, I'm on this side of the creek.
A barrier.
Something like that. When you're
on pikes.
you can do that too, as long as it's the ones of your enemies,
Of course.
or Muslims. Anyways, did I say that all right? Anyways, hey, Bad Teps had it right.
Did you just say awesome lot of bacon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad Teps had it right. Kept them out of Europe for years. Anyways, so
Please continue. We're getting canceled tonight anyway.
Oh boy.
but when you're trying to build a self-reliant community,
Yeah.
excuse me, and so is your neighbor, there's nothing wrong with open trade. There's hey, I got a guy that can do this. What do you got?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I got a guy that can do this. You guys can trade. You guys can. There's nothing wrong with having independent tribes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with having different of a faith or an opinion. In the end, we're all just trying to survive.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. So if I say, look, man, I got an abundance of cream corn, and yeah, you're going to not hear the end of that one, and you have an abundance of regular corn, maybe we can work a trade, maybe something like that, and it's beneficial to both parties. A wise man once said to me, he says, a trade is good as long as both sides believe it is beneficial, and I hold that dear to my heart.
Yes.
I believe it was Hancock said that.
Yep.
And so when you're talking about self-sustainability, you're talking about being open to neighbors, it all starts with a barrier. Hey, this is my land. This is where I'm going to farm. This is where I'm going to grow. You can stay over there. Okay. So.
I love it. That is a fantastic answer. We will totally accept that answer. You get +2 points.
You are now back to A standing, not A-.
Yep.
But not A+.
You're
Because
welcome.
we all have room to improve.
Angie, are you still in the comments? You better still be in the comments. I'm going to be totally disappointed if you're not still in the comments. You got to tell me if you're a cop, Angie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Yoda, G, if you're in the comments, sound off so we know you're there.
Yeah.
They
Can you
need to come
say
over to my
something?
comments.
What's that?
Get out of their comments. Come over to my comments.
Yeah, come on. What's going on, Angie? Golly. So, speaking of Angie, we're going to go ahead. It's getting close to the top of the half hour. We're going to go ahead and do our shameless plug of tonight's show sponsors. Bobby, why don't you tell us who tonight's show sponsors are?
All right. Well, we already went through WROL Practical Survival with JD Dutra and Southern Prepper 1, but I want to point out a very, 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 very special sponsor, somebody who's been with Midwest since you and I took the reins and turned it into what it's become with our amazing team of volunteers and our amazing team of workers, and that's Grumpy Acres Farm. Through thick and thin, through everything, Grumpy Acres Farm has been at every single event. They have sponsored every single event since the beginning, and I want to tell a very special story. I was at Self-Reliance Festival last weekend with Nicole Sauce emceeing their event, and I went up to Angie because her and G were up there, I believe with Tiffany, if I'm not mistaken, and they were vending food. And I said, Angie, this event's event heavy as opposed to Midwest. can I run a tab with you? And she's like, of course you can run a tab with me. So I was going up to her all weekend long, grabbing juices, grabbing beers, grabbing food. And at the end of it, she was like, I wasn't even going to charge you. And I'm like, no, I'm going to let you take my money. I want to support my local people. And she's like, I wasn't going to charge you any money. She ended up charging me $17. I'm fairly certain I ate and drank $25 worth of her stuff.
Outstanding.
Angie would not take my money. She would not let me pay full price. And that's what you get with Grumpy Acres Farm. And that's why we're wearing Grumpy Acres Farms Crisis Actor shirts tonight, because Grumpy Acres Farms has been one of the longest standing, most amazing and beneficial sponsors, presenters. Let's not even get into the fact that Garen came out this last time. Honestly, out of the 8 presenters we had, he was probably in the top 3 as far as reception with his dairy farm or with his dairy class about butter and milk and cheese and all that.
I got a lot of questions about that one.
It was one of the best attended out of all of them. And that's talking with people like William Bond and you know, Alan from the Honey People, AJ's Honey Farm, and Tracy Wickman and all these other people. So like, if you don't know who Grumpy Acres Farm is, if you've got their banner, throw that up there. Throw up their YouTube channel. They put out some good stuff, and they make great food, and they took care of me at SRF the entire time I was there. So thank you, Angie. I appreciate you. I love you. Grumpy Acres Farm, everybody. Check them out. And Angie, there have been some requests tonight and that we've been getting. If you still have more of these shirts, you or Garen, I need to know, because some people are asking.
Yep. So real quick, guys, to finish off that non-shameless plug right there, coming up, let's see, October the 19th, we're going to start around 2 p.m. at our local MAG meeting. So the Topeka area, through Midwest Preparedness Project, is hosting MAG meetings in the local area. This particular MAG meeting, we're doing an outstanding workshop that is brought to you by none other than Grumpy Acres Farm in partnership with MPP. They're hosting a canning class where we're going to be canning, oh goodness, we're doing Sloppy Joes, we're doing a couple of different really nice soups, we're doing some apple products, but more importantly, we're building bridges.
Yes.
We're building a tribe, and we're building a community, and if you are in the area and you can make it, I promise you it will be a good time by all. The barrier to entry is very, very low. If you want to participate, it is $25 to take product home. Otherwise, if you want to just show up and hang out, we're not going to stop you. But there will be like a series of Hail Marys and some other things you got to do to get in the door. Like, we might even ask you to do like the truffle shuffle. We don't know yet. We're going to play that by ear once you get there. Come on, do the truffle shuffle. Come on, do the truffle shuffle.
Do the truffle shuffle.
All right. So anyways, moving back into the show this evening. Let me pull that off. And let me fix our stuff.
Oh, my goodness. There we go.
Okay, so moving right along. Let's just jump right in here to Riverside Will. Will, back to you. We're going to ask you a relatively easier-ish, maybe a harder-ish question. Let's see. Hey, Daniel Strong's in the house. Hey, Daniel. How you doing?
Daniel Strong, Hacks for the Homesteader, right there.
Daniel Son. That's Hacks. That's Son of Hacks.
Son of Hacks. Son of Hacks.
Yes. All right. So, Will, for families without strong local networks, which is common in Kansas City, right? Like you're in that area. There's a lot of disconnected preppers in the area that I'm sure you've met that don't have a tribe. They don't have a community. They don't come to the Preparedness Project. They don't understand the need to be a part of something like what we're doing. What community organizations or vetted channels would you recommend they contact or reach out to and support after leaving the dreaded city? Where are you telling them to go? What's your number one place that you're going to send the refugees from Kansas City?
In Kansas City, we're close to. I mean, we're not necessarily exactly between both the mags for Midwest Preparedness Project. Probably closer to Lee Summit, but easiest thing to do, kick them over to Lee Summit mag.
Nice.
It's going to be the most expedient way of like, hey, there's already a group. It exists. That stated, there's a lot of our listeners who are not in this area, so they don't have the blessing of having two very close mags. So if you come to a Midwest Preparedness Project camp out, we have moments that we have set aside, like that you guys have set aside, where you orient the group with each other. and say, hey, if you're from this area, look around, raise your hand, everybody from this area, look around. You can find other people from your area. Now, there are outliers. Alaska, Texas, right? We have some outliers.
Wow. Call them
Sorry,
out. Call them out.
we love you guys. You're awesome, but also like I highly doubt there's going to be an instance where we have a significant overlap in those, especially down to like within an hour drive, because Texas is big. So there's, even if you are from the same state, if you're coming that far to one of these events, there are other events as well. There's Self-Reliance Festival. There is Free Living. So you can go to these events. You can see the people here. These events are, as you just said, vetted, so they are good. Your other option, I mean, find a good church. Just be open to kind of like, here's the thing. There's a lot of events now that are like this, because Midwest Preparedness Project, I think, is doing a really excellent job of doing this. I think there are other events that are doing a good job. I think there are other events that are doing an okay job. But no matter what the event is, if there is an event near you that is in this niche, if you go to it and you are, I mean, don't be a cagey little weirdo, obviously, but also don't be going around being like, I have all of the guns. I have artillery. Ha-ha, right? Don't be
Shoot him in the face!
Right.
In the face.
Squad automatics.
Don't be a goofball on either side of it, right? Just show up, be casual, be friendly, be kind, and you will find other people who are similar to you quickly enough, right? As long as you are willing to I know this is the hardest part. You have to leave your house. I know this is a shocking component of it, but you have to leave your house. You cannot just join a Facebook group and expect that is going to have results.
But we do cool stuff on the internet together.
We do cool stuff on the internet together. But if you don't have real life friends, then they're not really friends at all. I'm sorry to tell you. And then the other part of this is if you join these groups, they'll plug you into other groups. Like I went to Midwest Preparedness Project. I met Sam. Sam plugged me LFA. LFA's plugged me in other things, right?
What do those letters mean?
Light Fighters Anonymous, which does training. I mean, pretty much throughout. Like they have groups throughout the entire United States at this point, at least from the online component. But the training is primarily in the Midwest.
Yep.
Join a group. Any of them. You will find other groups through the group that you join. Just again, don't be a weirdo. Don't be a cagey little goofball about it. And again, the simplest and easiest one to say, because they're everywhere in America, is a church. The thing on the churches, and you have to be careful on this, is there's a lot of unhealthy churches out there. So, go in there intentionally, have your head on your shoulders, consider what you're hearing, and be intentional that you find a church that actually is following the Bible and the gospel and not going to mislead you in your group. Can I address one thing that is completely outside of my question that I heard earlier that I wanted to jump on, but I didn't?
Oh, please, by all means, Will. If you didn't,
I've been waiting on this one. Okay, Mr. Bobby Spags, you said a slap to the face, right? You turn the cheek and take the other side, right? I want everyone to understand, because this is one of those big things of mine. I'm like, okay.
I knew I was going to bait you with that.
I was like, oh man, I want to jump on that so bad. All right, here's the deal, everyone. When Jesus said, turn the other cheek, right? It's an insult to take a backhand. What he said was force them to recognize you as an equal.
Yes.
Force them. What he said when he says turn the other cheek, right? Because he gets slapped on the one side because they're insulting you, saying basically peasant, right? You turn the other cheek such they have no option but to slap you with the front of their hand, and thus you are forcing them to recognize you as an equal.
Yes.
Which I think honestly was really because that context even built into what you were saying after it too. But
I was hoping you were going to take the bait.
I raised my hand. I was like, "Come on, please! I don't want to interrupt you." But man,
so many modern Western Christians have just undoubtedly bitten into this pacifist bullshit mentality that we're just supposed to sit there and get beat the shit up by everybody, and it's like, well, no, and here's why.
Turning the other cheek does not mean what people think it means.
No, it doesn't.
In a modern context, or in the soft-handed world that we are all living in currently, turning the other cheek does not mean literally turning the other cheek. It's like what Will said. It's allowing ourselves grace, but at the same time, standing our ground and forcing
equality.
Forcing them to admit or acknowledge your equality. Thank you, Will. Well said, my friend.
Who's ready for a curveball?
Oh, gosh.
Curveball. Pete.
Yeah.
You are not of the same faith as all of us.
Nope.
What in your faith is correlation to what we're talking about?
Don't let them fucking hit you.
Don't let them fucking hit you. Explain.
They go for it. Don't let them hit you. Duck, counter, parry, whatever. Fight like you're the last animal on Noah's Ark, and brother, it's starting to rain. Okay, I know. We are not pacifists. The Norse are not. Nor are we the. Just so I can say this for all my brethren out there, we're not all Norse or Vikings, and not all Vikings were Norse. There you go. I'm just going to say that.
Some are Greenlanders.
There was actually Czech, Irish, Scottish, English, Russians. I mean, it's an occupation.
Sure.
But no, the whole thing is don't let them hit you. If they start a fight, you end it. I mean, it is a. I mean, they all thought everybody to be equal. Even the women were equal. I mean, everybody was that. Yeah, if somebody started a fight with you, you fight back. Yeah. You don't dodge. You don't deflect. You fight.
I would love, when we're not in a live and we're going to take up the entire call doing this, I would love to have a conversation with you about this at length, because something of
I know where this can happen.
Okay.
May 5th through the 10th at Bloomington West Campground at Clinton Lake is the Spring Festival, where you will find my good friend Patrick, my good friend Pete, my good friend Sam, and my good friend Will, and we can have this conversation with bourbon and cigars around the campfire.
Shameless plug.
Before the word of God was so pacifist, like before it became so watered down in the modern era, I want to remind you, because I explored that faith. I'm going to be honest with you. There was a time. Can you not see? But there was a time. The Norse pagans were some of the fastest converts to Christianity when the word hit them. When it finally got to their land and it was preached to them like accurately, and they began to understand it, they converted in mass. And there's a reason for that. And again, it's if you take out the modern deconstruction of the Bible that has occurred, the destruction of the Bible that has occurred. I think that the word of God, like the true understood gospel, the true understood like God's ways of living your life, will be much more appealing to you than the false gospel that you've been fed in the modern church.
Or even missionary, and again, we can go on with this for a while. Yeah. Even missionaries that went off into the Norse lands, they found out that what they were preaching was already being done, and they took the cross and put it on their altar and said, "Okay, your God is favored with ours." So, again, I don't care how you pray. Nor most Norse don't. They just, it's not a mention of have no faith. It is a mention of do you have faith? And okay, that's cool.
Can we agree on 3 things? No rapists, no diddlers, and no diaper sniffers. And we can all unite against the forces of evil.
I mean, technically, diddlers and diaper sniffers are the same, so I would include like cream corn lovers.
Oh God, yeah, cream corn lovers, diaper sniffers, and rapists. Can we disagree that all of us can unite against the forces of evil?
Can I put one? I know we're getting. Can I put one more on that?
Sure, what's that?
You don't put pineapple on fucking pizza.
Wife and you are going to go around. That's right. You know each other. You've bumblebeed tuna.
Yeah,
Pete is over here starting World War IX. You know what? We're waiting on Sam to come back in. Sam, his laptop
unalived itself.
Unfortunately, so we love you, Sam. I know you're out there still in whatever the etherverse. So we'll keep you in our spirits until you are able to bring yourself back into the Matrix. Moving on, we'll go back to Bobby, because Sam would have been next. So moving through, let's do a good one, Bobby.
Oh boy, no cream corn.
No cream corn. I swear, not a single cream corn.
I'm gonna donate.
Not a single cream corn question.
So, there's Sam. Look at there. Is that Sam? Oh, he's back.
And then there's Sam.
Look at the beard.
Look at
that
this
majestic beard.
Now, Sam, you got to say it. Hello, America. I am here to give you a message. You can't unsee it now, can you?
All right, so you're gonna stick with me, or are you gonna move to Sam now?
No. We'll continue. It's okay. Sam,
Okay.
we'll give you a break. Bobby.
Yep.
What communication strategies work best for explaining to your members why you're changing engagement with other members?
Well,
How do you communicate to your group
Okay.
that you are changing engagement with other mags without feeling panic or factionalism? How do you keep them from sensationalizing that? Like going back on the other two questions,
Yeah.
right? Like you're obviously having some discord, or you're trying to reestablish a commonality, right? How do you communicate that to your group without fueling panic or factionalism? Because you know how it always is. There's always someone in the group that's like, yes, but their head's on pikes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been waiting on this. Let's go to war.
Right. They're the same ones who are like OPSEC
Yes.
about everything.
Yep.
Look, man, we have said from the beginning that no man is an island and everybody has to sleep. That is expansionally true as your group grows. As your group grows, the number of jobs grow. As the number of jobs grow, the number of responsibilities grow. And as that grows, the number of people you are assigning to those things are going to grow. There does come a point where every single small clan, tribe, or community throughout history reaches terminal velocity, where they can no longer expand within themselves, which is why every clan, tribe, and society has always sent a boat, or sent a hot air balloon, or sent a canoe, or sent an expedition. At some point, you reach the end of your rope, even from a societal perspective, and you have to be able to communicate to your people that, look, here are the logistics. Here's food, water, fire, shelter, defense. Here's all of us. Here are the old people who can't do anything. Here are the young people who are 3 years old and younger. Here are the people we have out doing this and that and this and that. And we have these people scouting and these people farming and these people fishing and these people on patrol. We have to make friends. At some point, you have to make a logistical plea to your people. And as I've always said, every decision in life is an economic decision. Economics come down to the basic principles of exchange, whether that's money, currency, time, energy, or resources. Your people have to understand that if they've put you in a position of leadership, that you understand those 5 principles of time, energy, resources, all of that, right? If you, as their leader, are like, we are running low in categories A, C, and D, or B, C, and F, whatever that is, they have to trust you that you're not just going to go out and reach out to people randomly and put people at risk. And if they trust you to lead and they trust you to have logistical understanding, then they have to trust you to say, it's time to talk to other people. Guys, we don't want to be the French in the 1700s, where every kid was born with an elongated chin, a furrowed brow of worry,
But they like my baguette.
and shriveled nuts because they were inbred to the, to the max. You have to at some point expand past the boundaries of your little 30-person clan. And if your clan or tribe or whatever you call yourselves, your group, your mag, does not understand that and does not trust you, then you're in the wrong place to begin with in the first damn place.
What I have visions of Fallout.
Because this is exactly what this is. All of this really is, Pete, exactly in that lane or realm of Fallout. Because, and just like Fallout, the Fallout series, you do have literally a world without rule of law.
Yeah.
And so you have factionalism, you have tribalism, you have rogue, entities running around doing roguish things.
For anybody that's ever grown up in a small town, where you
Yes.
can't get a date because you're related to everybody.
Or that, yes.
Yeah.
Like we all look like we're Amish.
Yep.
We have the same haircut. You're my sister, cousin, brother. Wait a minute. Sam.
And fooling around just for cousins.
Sam, I'm glad you're back. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. It's I think it was Bruce Lee who said, I do not fear a man who has practiced 10,000 different kicks. I fear a man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And that, my friends, is Sam Russell. So, going back to Sam now that he's back in.
I think I'm back in. Am I back in?
That put a smile on his face. Yeah, you are. You're back
Okay,
in.
good.
You're part of the back end crew.
You're so back in. You know what? We're not even gonna touch that.
Whoa! Calm down, Diddy. It's not that kind of party.
There was some baby oil on his camera when we got started. I'm just telling you guys.
Did he?
But did he?
He did.
Did he? Sam, you've got a really cool training course coming up. You've been training with Sonny Puzikas, the
Yes.
original Russian Spetsnaz, turned American. I don't even know. I'm doing a horrible Russian.
Turn Texan. Yeah.
Yes, turn Texan. He's got like an interesting accent. It's like part Texan, part Kalishnikov. I don't even
Yes.
know what it is. So you have a really cool training session coming up with Sonny soon. All hail Sonny, by the way.
All hail Sonny. One of us. That was really weird.
That was awesome. But Sam,
It's all for the greater
how
good.
does training for
Greater
fatigue,
good.
stress inoculation, and rehearsal in military units impact the way communities should run preparedness drills or routines, as you see it?
Okay, I'm gonna give an example that, and I don't know if this story is true or not. They told us it was true. But in the Marines, we practice this thing called a dead gunner drill, and it's what it sounds like. The guy running the gun, which could have been me, for whatever reason, isn't able to do that anymore. So in Humvees, like what I was in most of the time, one of the things that they would teach is if you were the gunner and you were injured or whatever, and you needed somebody else to come up, whenever you come back down into the vehicle, basically, you tap the guy. You usually in the back left seat, you tap that guy on the shoulder, and then he's got to go back up and do that thing. And so the story that they told us was that guys practiced that so much that at times they would be dead and still come down and hit their buddy that has to go up and do the things. So as a group, if you're getting ready for things to go sideways, like whatever plan it is that you have, it needs to happen, whether or not everybody can talk, whether or not everybody can communicate, whether or not the leader is still there or not. When it's time to do the thing, everybody knows which way to go, what to do. They don't have to pick up the phone because the cell phone towers don't work anymore and call the people because maybe the people aren't there anymore. You're outside of radio range. Whatever the plan is, it needs to happen. Once it's time to do the plan, it happens regardless of all the other situations going on.
Repetitive battery of instruction. It becomes muscle memory because you've done it ad nauseum so many times. Pete, when you and I get together and train, how many times do we do mass drills?
No, all the time.
All the time. And for 10 straight minutes, we will do military grade gas mask drills. What's the standard? 14 to 19 seconds to don your pro mask, clear and seal. Same with everything else. Like Sam said, you do it so often, it becomes something you do in your sleep.
So it really is just a matter of repetition and then applying that to whatever situation you're in.
Yep.
Whether it's you're the dude in the turret on the Humvee, or whether you're the dude that is like turning cream corn into tortillas.
Right. And as you do those repetitions, you're going to find stuff that doesn't work or things that work better, and you can refine your system.
Yep.
So where whenever you get to the point where it's time to do that thing, it's the best version of whatever it is you've been working on.
Yeah, amen. That is absolutely it. It's again one of those analogies where you are putting in the time and the effort to be a better version for whatever situation, because you will default to your training. It's just a fact of the matter. We're getting close to the top of the hours. We're gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna wind it down this evening. Try to end this one at a reasonable time so people can get up and go to work. I know. Riverside Will, we're gonna pivot to you. Will, you're the pivot man.
Whoa, we are at a Diddy party.
I mean, we're not wearing like gas masks and doing the Harlem Shake right now. So. But we could.
We could.
Speaking of, Will, what financial and documentation steps should families take right now? such as IDs, records, etc., to avoid being stuck in a vulnerable spot when without rule of law happens.
So this is like records retention, is what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes.
I
hang
mean,
on. Real quick, Will. Hang on a second. K-Cam, the cream corn inside joke. It is a special thing that you'll have to come to the Midwest Preparedness Project and learn about.
Or
Sorry.
watch enough lives. I mean, if you watch enough lives, you might figure it out. You just gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta go through the whole backlog.
Sorry, Kim. Please continue. Well, I'm sorry. The question was, again,
records retention.
Yes.
So, I mean, frankly, being prepared for a scenario as far as records retention goes, it's the same as what you should be doing right now, regardless. I mean, no matter what, your records should be retained in one collection point that is relatively secure and has some general safeguards against fire, water, general damage. Simple enough, right? Go get some form of a fireproof safe, put your documents in it. You might want to throw some oxygen absorbers in there just to make sure that they don't get moldy nonsense, whatever, and then generally keep your records there. You should keep records of, birth certificate, social security card, all that good stuff in one place. Make sure it's also relatively secure in case of people breaking in. So again, safe. If it's going to be a cheaper safe, then you might want to consider some way of bolting it down. Even if it can't be heavy enough that they can't lift it out, you might want to consider some other way of making sure it stays where it's at. That's really short and sweet of it. I don't think you really need anything else. Make sure they're generally accessible. You might want to put them inside of their own, like the individual documents collected and collated into document retention. So like either is it like if you want to go cheap, Ziploc bag. If you want to go nice, you go get a document holder. Either way, that way when you need those documents, you can grab them quickly. Even if you don't have enough time or ability to take the whole safe with you, you can put them in that. There you go.
No, that's legit. So basically, all of your important documents, folks, like Will said, you're obviously going to want to prioritize your passports, your means of traveling around the country without being impeded, although it's not really going to matter too much. Has anyone here seen the Civil War movie? I mean, what is it? The one that just came out?
Civil War?
Yeah, and there's always a question that always pops up in my mind where the reporters are traveling and the guy asks them, where are you
what
from?
What kind of American are you?
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're Americans. And he says exactly that. What kind of Americans are you? Like,
I would add one thing to that document thing. A lot of us have over the years of preparedness and homesteading understood that we need our birth certificates, our social security numbers, all of that sort of stuff. I would highly recommend to you that you keep your deed to your house, your mortgage paperwork, your vehicle registrations in one place because the federal government does have, trust me, I know I've worked for them a very long time or worked for them for a very long time. They have extensive records and rules on what happens with property in the event of a national emergency. You need to be able to, if you have to leave your home, you should be able to come back and prove it was mine. Yeah. If an EMP happens and your car gets fried and all it takes is swapping out a few parts, you need to be able to prove this was mine. So life insurance policies, automobile titles, house deeds, anything that proves ownership, 401ks, safety deposit boxes. If you have any documentation proving that something that might still be there is yours, you better sure as hell have it, because if not, the government will take all of it.
Hell, even property tax statements.
I'm going to give all of you the cheat code to what Bobby just said there in the up, down, down, left, right, BA, select, start. What Bobby's telling you is right now, go to your printer. You need to print out a copy of like owning a Lamborghini. You need to print out a copy of like owning a Tesla truck. You need to print out a copy of like owning a fully automatic belt-fed, M240 Bravo, and a couple of other things, and have those on you. So that way, when the feds do stop you, post without rule of law, you can say, "Yeah, look, I have the documentation right here."
I mean, on
What
top
were
of
you
that,
thinking
too,
about property tax?
Property tax statements.
Yeah.
I mean, that at least says that you are. It'll give you the property and your ownership track, what township you're in. It gives you a lot of information that not only would probably be good. I mean, outside of that, your little government funded ID, um, showing those two could show that yes, I own this land because therefore I pay property taxes on it.
Right. And it also shows the congruent year to which you paid prior to the event. So if you're paying up till 2022 and the event happens January 2023, you can say there was no lapse. I was paying until there was no method to pay.
Exactly.
And what a strange world
I
we
mean-
live in, where we're having this conversation now about,
It's more than bean bullets and band-aids.
it really is. It really is. In this digital age that we live in, it is so easy to lose track of all those things because it's all getting digitized.
This ain't your daddy's pepper show anymore.
Not anymore.
And keep them updated.
Yes.
Keep them updated. I mean, I gotta go through. I just updated my passport, so I gotta get that, copies of that and stow places.
As your brother once told me, there's nothing that $5,000 in the passport can't fix.
True, but I ain't got $5,000.
Let's
on
do a
top of
couple
that,
more.
too, if you have forms for any of the Form 4 items, tax stamps, stuff like that,
Absolutely.
any form of, if the government's handed it to you in order for you to say that you own it, keep it in one place.
Keep it.
If the
Keep it.
government's handed it to you in a form of saying that yes, you paid for it, keep it.
Of course,
That's
I
the one.
own all of these pineapple grenades, Mr. Federal
Yeah.
Auditor. I have them before
I have a handwritten sales ticket.
I
didn't
got
realize,
these from Kansas Pete at a gun show.
I
God,
realized I was going to have day job level of thoughts in this discussion. I'm sorry.
Is this where we go? Wait a minute. I won this AR-15 from Stinky Rinky, but he never gave it to me. Can I get it now?
oh, I see where we're going.
Oh my God!
And then we're going to end this
That goes back.
on a low note because we have friends in high places tonight. Let's go to Pete. Pete, this is going to be an easy one. How can homesteading practices such as food preservation, water care, etc., be organized into rotating responsibilities in a community? How do you prioritize those?
How do I prioritize responsibility?
Yep.
Keep people fed and watered, they'll stay. I mean, it's just like a dog. And that's probably the most lowbrow thing I can say, is that when people are hungry, I mean, there's certain spiritual organizations that do this a lot in prisons. You give a person a piece of cake, they'll listen to whatever you say. So you want to
When they're
prioritize
starving.
either, because I have seen inmates who were not starving convert magically because somebody gave them a slice of apple pie. So that being said, you want to talk about priorities. Keep your people fed, keep clean water. Then after that, keep them warm. Keep them as comfortable as it is allowed. And you're not always going to get that pillow top bed, but a blanket goes a long way. Firewood goes a long way. When you have nothing, when you are walking with no shoes and in the snow and you're freezing, and somebody hands you a pair of wool socks, you are so thankful. You're amazed. There was a guy.
Appreciative.
Yeah, one guy I saw walking down the highway and had no shoes, none, because him and his girlfriend are at the local park and she broke up with him and then ran off.
Took his stuff and ran.
So nothing. This guy had no shoes, walking on hot asphalt, had no water. Okay, he went over to a neighbor of mine's house. She gave him, here's a bottle of water. Now, mind you, she kept her 38 in her pocket the entire time. But here's a bottle of water. Here's an old pair of shoes. He says it's the best Christmas I ever had. So until you have reached that level of, I don't want to call it poverty or
Desperation.
Desperation. That's a very good word. So you use that for prioritizing how you're going to keep your facility running. If you have no Nintendo, you have no internet, you have no forms of entertainment, maybe the written word, and if you're lucky, you can be able to provide some music. But you keep them warm, you keep them fed, you keep them watered, like you would an animal. They'll stick around. Because why? They become dependent on that. They don't want to go back out in the cold. So priority, I would prioritize that above all else. And then people will defend you.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, everybody talks about oh, I need defense. I need my $3,000 AR and 10 million rounds of ammo. That's great, but if you can only eat a bullet once. So before you won't starve. But
Not anymore.
yeah, but does that answer the question?
That's plus 2 points to Pete. All right, +2. All right, Pete. Pete wins the game tonight. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. You all been wonderful. Follow me. I'm delicious.
He does. He tastes like long pork. Don't ask me how I know.
He's cured with sugar.
I am marinating myself tonight.
In Filipino, we call it. You know what? Never mind.
Way to bring some melanin into the conversation there, Patrick.
Tocino. It's called tocino. Okay, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We really do appreciate you spending your evening with us. We know you had way better things you could do. Yeah, we got a couple of plugs we're going to do real quick. So, Bobby, closing us out, you want to tell us what we've got coming up in the next festival? We've got our dates planned, right?
Yes, for the first time in the history of the Midwest Preparedness Project, we have both the spring and the fall dates secured. This happens because of you, our sponsors, you, our followers, you, our attendees. It has very little to do with those of us who manage and guide Midwest. It has everything to do with those who give. So if you go to MidwestPreparednessProject.com, social media, all of the same name. We are on YouTube, we're on MeWe, we're on Discord, we're on Facebook, we're on Rumble even. Go to all of those places. You will find Midwest Preparedness Project. You will find that we have put out our dates, May 5th through the 10th and September 8th through the 13th at Bloomington West Campground at Clinton Lake in Kansas. Do not show up on Monday if you are not there to set up. We are not letting anybody in on Mondays. This event is growing to the extent. This event is growing to the point where we are only allowing staff on Monday to set up the tent, to set up vendor row, to set up signage, fencing, security, and all of those things to keep you fed, watered, and safe while you attend our events. Show up on those Tuesdays through Sundays. Enjoy it. It's May 5th through 10th, September 8th through 13th. Bloomington West. You will see everybody on this live chat, and probably all the previous live chats will be there at some point in 2026. Don't forget that the Great American Preparedness Tour for 2025 has come to a close. If you can show us all three of the tokens, Midwest Preparedness Project, Self-Reliance Festival, and Kentucky Sustainable Living, at the end of the year, send us an email, and we will send you your own laser engraved basic 511 military green and black Mora knife carbon steel blade. But you gotta send us proof of life. So send us an email. What's the email for the general inbox?
We can do info@midwestpreparednessproject.com. Send it to that.
Yep. Send an info.
Message us on Facebook. Message us on Discord. Same thing with X and
all the things. A huge shout out to Nicole Sauce from Self-Reliance Festival, Shelly and Jason from Kentucky Sustainable Living. You guys make the tour possible. There's news that 2026 might have some new things on the Great American Preparedness Tour. Until then, folks, be safe, be smart, make good choices, and remember, every decision in life is an economic decision.
Add a couple more plugs, Bobby.
Go for it.
We're trying to close this out. Okay, real quick. Before we end on Bobby's high note, gentlemen, I'd like you to leave the audience with a one-liner, very quick. What's your best advice for maintaining faith, family, fellowship when the system breaks down? We'll start with Sam Russell.
You got to see those people like face to face and like probably eat food. Eating food together as a group is really good for bonding. Like trauma bonding is cool and all, but I would rather just like eat. They both work.
I like it. So get together, do things in real life.
Yeah.
Don't be an NPC.
Yep.
Bobby?
I gave you mine. Pass them on off to someone else.
I love it. Pete? One-liner.
One-liner.
Yep. How do you maintain faith, family, fellowship when the system breaks down?
Community.
My man.
Community is huge, and I'll tell you where the community sinks in. This last time I was out there at MPP, and I usually go around, talk to people, stuff like that. But I was so wrapped up in my booth, I did not have a chance to do the community thing, and I feel bad about that. When I went to Tennessee, that's all I did was community. Went up, shook hands, introduced myself, talked to people, meet people. And with that, it's like I said, everybody's cool online, but when you meet, like Sam said, when you meet them in person and you get to know them, you get to share information or break bread or have a drink together. Me and Sam had dinner one night with a couple of guys. It was great to get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, community, keeping that community, building your tribe, and with real live people.
Love it. Same thing like Sam said. Pretty much.
I can't disagree with that. That's probably the best thing.
Get together, do the things in real life. Make sure you're doing kung fu in the garage.
Learn how to kick ass properly.
Yes. Riverside Will,
Yes.
what about you? One-liner, Faith Family Fellowship.
Everything that's been said, obviously, but do not grow apathetic to evil and do not grow ungrateful of good.
Ooh, see, neutral.
That's deep.
You're a neutral.
There we
good
go
dude.
again with the deep thoughts from Riverside.
I tell you what, that's good.
Will,
I think it's one of the bigger things that we as a society have struggled with.
you are not wrong, young man. You are not wrong. All right. On that note, thank you again, everybody. We appreciate you. So to Mr. Bobby Spags, Mr. Pete Rafferty, Mr. Riverside Will, the Peter Parker of Kansas City, Sam Russell, and all of you in the crowd this evening. We appreciate you very much. Thank you again for your time. For everyone watching, stay alert, stay grounded, and remember a positive mindset and united community are our strongest assets, no matter what's on the horizon. Until the next time, have a good night all and a good night to those of you that
Stay
did
positive, just not like Charlie Sheen.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Did it, party?
And there it is.